It's the National Football League on EA Sports, and we've got the latest chapter of a historic rivalry. It's the Niners and the Seahawks. All that and more coming up next.
Well, no trip to the Northwest would be complete without a little rain, and we've got a lot of rain falling right now at Lumen Field in downtown Seattle. Welcome again, everybody, with Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gunn, and yes, the rain is falling now, and it is supposed to continue to fall throughout this game. So how do you think that will impact this contest?
Well, first and foremost, both quarterbacks are going to make sure the officials have those dry footballs coming in each and every play and standing over them sometimes with a towel before the center gets up there to snap it. Second thing is the focus of all the guys who handle the football. Do they wear gloves? Do they take them off? Will they carry the ball high and tight to make sure they have good ball security? That's paramount in a game like this.
Now the Michigan man, Jake Moody, to get us started.
And off we go from Seattle.
And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30, up to the 33.
So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession.
Commanding the offense will be the highly touted USC product, Sam Darnold.
And the thing with Sam Darnold is we know the skill set is there. May not be the most mobile or strongest arm quarterback in the league, but usually plays with really good poise, and at his best, like a point guard in basketball, able to move around and distribute the rock.
So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33. They'll run. It's Kenneth Walker.
And that is the kind of tackling they want to see all game, as he'll lose yardage to start things out. It'll go as a loss of a yard on the game's first play. Second down.
When coaches stress their defense being physical, they don't just mean the big guys. How about the guys on the outside, the cornerbacks? It's not just their job to patrol the airspace. They can get involved in the run game as well.
To throw is Darnold. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end.
And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49.
First down, Seattle, 16 yards, the gain there.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Walker now on first and 10.
And just 1 yard here from the 49 to the 50.
A 1 yard gain could look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1 yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1 yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
Faking the give, Darnold. Man open, that's Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers' 31-yard line. 19 yards there on the catch and run.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people who have to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Straight ahead, Walker. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone.
Another nice gain. That's now 30 yards between those last two plays.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
Back to Walker on first down.
And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be second down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Back to throw, Darnold. He'll wind up getting 4 there on his own, but it will leave him now with a third down situation.
And that's an early scramble that can be viewed positively by either side. From the offensive point of view, it begins to establish him as a possibility to keep it on certain plays. And defensively, they avoided giving up a huge play in one of their first tests in containing a quarterback on the run.
Here's Darnold. That's complete to the tight end, Saubert. And oh, he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
Oh, it's time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran it a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
Myers' kick is good, and the Seahawks grab a 3-0 lead.
Well, after marching down the field, only getting 3 there, kind of feels like a win for the defense.
And it does. They'll go to the sideline feeling a lot better that they didn't give up a touchdown after the march against them. But if I were the offense, I wouldn't hang my head over that one. That's a good drive, and 3 points were put on the board.
Myers now converted on the field goal try. Now he's on to kick it away. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. So here's the first drive now for the 49ers. And they'll be let out by their quarterback now in his 3rd season in the league.
And there's a word that constantly gets thrown around with this guy when you talk to anyone in the building. Potential. They are sky high on what they believe he can grow into in the role of a starting quarterback. In addition, there are plenty around the league who think that as well. And years from now, he can still be leading this offense out.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10.
At their own 27. They'll try and start this drive in the air.
Looking for the out route. He's got it. Complete to Kittle.
And he gets this up to the 34 out of bounds there. That's good. The completion there for 7 yards, and it'll be 2nd down. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this first quarter.
Purdy now to throw.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. Leonard Williams, the former number 6 overall pick, got the sack that time.
Well, he was really focused downfield, but there was really no viable options. The coverage was too good.
And the defense really quickened the tempo of that play with their pass rush because there was nowhere for him to go with the football. The only place he ended up, down on the ground.
Tough spot here, 3rd down and 11. Purdy looking to throw. He'll get this underneath to McCaffrey.
And he's going to be stopped here a few yards short of the first as the tackle is made at the 33. Their opening drive here is going to result in a punt. They got 7 yards there, but not enough.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Wisnowski on to punt as he sends this one away.
Able to power through. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt, and it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10.
Seattle's offense coming back onto the field, ready for their 2nd drive.
They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Play action. It's Darnold.
And that one drops down, incomplete. Good coverage there, forced the ball free, and it's 2nd down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone, and there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
Darnold from the gun.
And that one complete downfield to Cup.
And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. 22 yards there, a first down.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
Up the middle, here's Walker.
And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
They suspected it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on first down.
From the 44-yard line, here's 2nd down and 8.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. Throw out wide to Walker. And he'll go out of bounds right around the 40.
I think the best offenses love to get the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Now Darnold.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'll guarantee you he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot that you were trying to succeed with.
The Seahawks will call on Michael Dixon on 4th down to punt this one away.
Jacob Cowing deep to receive it.
And no return here. Where will they spot it? They say just outside the 20-yard line. Back out there comes the 49ers offense ready for their second drive. And on the first drive, 3 and out. And I know that these are professional athletes, but I would imagine sometimes you get the nerves at the beginning of a game still, don't you?
Those don't ever go away. And typically what I've heard from guys and what I remember from playing, if you don't have nerves at the start of a game, it's not going to be a great day for you. You're not really ready to play. So finding a way to harness those nerves and not let them affect you in a negative way, that's what all the guys are looking for.
First carry of the game for Christian McCaffrey. And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up.
I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
2nd and 10.
Again, they run. Again, it's McCaffrey. And this time, he won't even make it back to the line of scrimmage as they stop him in his tracks. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
That was well played there defensively. 2 tight ends in the formation, which essentially gave them 7 blockers up front. Hard to imagine with all that size and beef that they could let a tackler through, but that's exactly what happened. A loss resulted.
They'll bring a receiver in motion left. Here's Purdy. Connects with Kittle underneath. Finding space at the 40 as he'll get this one up to the 44-yard line. Give him 22 there on the 3rd down conversion.
And this was a nice example of an offensive coordinator scheming his guy open. Just a little underneath route, just trying to free up some space, and it worked awfully well. Got him not just space, but plenty of room to run after the catch to pick up really nice yardage.
And they'll send the tight end in motion here. Now Purdy. And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Uchenna and Wosu got the sack there.
Okay, I'm not sure you could actually draw a better pass rush than that one right there. Nowhere to go outside. He had to keep backing up and backing up and backing up. Eventually dropped for a huge loss.
And the job becomes twice as difficult now. After the sack, it's 2nd and 20.
Purdy.
Connects with Kittle underneath. It'll go down as a gain of 6. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long.
3-0 after one on EA Sports. The 49ers with the football here to begin the second quarter. A tough spot here, 3rd and 15. As they've got it as we resume action. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flush to his right. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
Nice call on defense, rolling out the nickel package for that big 3rd down play, and he did an excellent job locking down coverage and forcing him to try and run for it, and he doesn't get there, which brings up a big 4th down call.
So on 4th down, here's the Australia native Mitch Wishnowski to punt this one away. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. Well, on that punt, we've got a man shaken up. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. Obviously not the intended goal last drive. They had to punt the football, but still they've got the lead here, and now a chance to add on to that lead if they can get points on this drive. 1st and 10 upcoming. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Well, he hasn't made much of an impact in the running game thus far, and after that last run, not much is going to change in that area.
He hasn't been able to get anything going, and really the offensive line not helping him much. Sticking with Walker on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down here at the 28.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
2 yards still to go. 3rd down now. Off of play action, Darnold. He completes this to Walker. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. Only 3 there on the pickup, but that's enough to move the chains.
Short yardage situation, you have to wonder if they thought that they were just going to run it inside, but you have to be cognizant of the back slipping out of the backfield trying to find some open space, and that's exactly what he does to the tune of a 1st down.
Here's Darnold. This is Fant on the short completion. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and it's 2nd down.
And there wasn't much room for the big tight end to do much after the catch. But at least he was able to pick up a solid gain to help his offense continue to move in the right direction.
Ball on the 36 now. Here's 2nd and 5. Darnold. Going right back to Fant. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another 1st down.
But when you hit him on the move like that, and he's able to get into open field with a full head of steam, oh, boy, it's going to be tough to get him down.
Yeah, there was a big window. They're lucky they did get him down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Again, Darnold. A throw out wide, going to be incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
Now a 2nd and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
From the gun on 3rd down, here's Darnold. Working the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 16. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage. And here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
So the ball down to the 16 here for 1st and 10. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. It'll be a pickup of 5 on the keeper. It's 2nd down.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
Here's a 2nd and 5. Darnold now to throw. This is caught. And the Seahawks are looking at 1st and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line. A play fake, and it's Darnold. And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. A 2-yard touchdown grab. And the Seahawks are able to add on to that lead.
This is where, as a tight end, you've got to really sell that this is a run. They're going to fake the give, hope the linebackers bite, and here they do just enough. That split second, that's all it takes for that tight end to leak out into the end zone. Touchdown.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. It's up and good, and that'll increase their lead to 10-zip. So that one a long 11-play drive. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The 49er offense now making their way out onto the field. It hasn't gone particularly well for them. That's obvious. In these conditions, no points so far. They've got to get that offense on track. The question, how do they do it?
It is the age-old question, isn't it? And to me, finding a way to make sure your playmakers touch the ball without it being too exotic. Meaning you don't have to go deep down the field. Maybe you hit them on those short passes on the perimeter. Make sure you just turn around and hand it to your best runner and get out of the way. Don't cause any extra stress on your offense.
And he'll bring it up here to right at the 40-yard line.
On any explosive run, you can almost feel the ground shaking, and that's from the offensive linemen creating space for their runners. I had an old coach tell me before, he always told his runners, run around the offensive line in pregame. Get used to the ground shaking so you don't trip and fall when it happens in a game.
Throwing here, Purdy. Open man is Juwan Jennings. And he's going to get this down to the 35-yard line. 25 yards there on the catch and run.
Oh, that was a nice job there. Quarterback and receiver reading the pressure that was brought. They both knew it was going to open up the middle of the field. Nice little shake and bake at the line of scrimmage, got right into his route. And the quarterback hit him in stride, and he was able to run free after the catch.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Purdy will set up to throw it here. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Good hands there defensively. It's second down.
Yes, sir. How about an attaboy there on first down? Got his hand in and knocked it away.
Here's 2nd and 10. McCaffrey running up the middle. And he'll get a little over 2, maybe a full 3 down to the 32-yard line. Oh, boy, Christian McCaffrey shaken up, so hold everything here as they're going to take a look at it. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. The 25-yard line is what they need here. This is 3rd down. Back to throw, Purdy. And he's going to get this to the 31, but that is still well short of what he needed. Only able to get back a yard for his efforts, and that leads us to 4th down.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
So Purdy off and Moody on for the 49er field goal. From the right hash, this from 48. And his kick is indeed good. And they get themselves on the board here. It's 10-3. So, Charles, they are on the board after that kick. So 3 drives, 3 points. Obviously not the start that you were hoping for, but they're able to erase that 0 off the scoreboard.
Yeah, I guess what you're saying is a point a drive is not what offenses are striving for by any stretch. They're happy they've got 3 now. They hope that that unlocks their offense for bigger points down the road.
So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And he takes this near the 25. Just a little pass there. Call it the 26. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Good drive last time. Really effective passing the football. Do you maybe mix it up, now go to the ground game and surprise the defense a little bit?
I would anticipate the defense making some changes, but I wouldn't necessarily just absolutely go in the opposite direction. They're doing so well throwing the ball.
Yeah, why
I wouldn't change it up until they showed me a reason to do so.
Here's a 2nd and 3 now from the 33. Faking the give, Darnold. He'll let this go deep for Smith and Jigba. This is caught inside the 15. And he gets it down deep into San Francisco territory. It's a big play there for Seattle. 55 yards.
I'll tell you what, this is not going to be a fun discussion at halftime for this defense. They've been absolutely taken advantage of in the first half. And here's another play for big yardage.
A real field flipper there as all of a sudden they've got a first down in the red zone. Now it's Darnold. Eluding the pressure right. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll stop it with just over 40 seconds to go in the first half. Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Back to throw, Darnold. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Fred Warner. And into the end zone. A pick 6 for the 49er D as they score the touchdown. An excellent play there, CD, on the pick 6. And I think were they a nickel? Did they have an extra DB out there?
Yeah, Brandon, I think they were in standard nickel, not the Buffalo, as teams like to call it, meaning 3 safeties for big nickel. They just wanted to take away the quarterback's throwing lanes, and that's exactly what they did and came through with a big-time pick 6.
Jake Moody now for the point after. And he'll he'll put it through, and that evens us up at 10 apiece. A heck of a play there defensively, getting the interception, navigating his way into the end zone for the touchdown. All level now at 10 apiece as the kick's away. And out a little across the 25 to the 27. And the Seahawks offense going to get one final possession in this first half. And with time quickly fading here in the second quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A little under 30 seconds to go. We'll see how they play it here on 1st and 10. Fresh off the pick six, it's Darnold. Open man is Barner, the tight end. Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Second down and 8. To throw is Darnold. Shakes off the sack. And shutting him off, now open field. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Out of the shotgun, here's Darnold. Now throw right side here, going to be incomplete.
And that's a lesson learned from the previous drive. Last time he forced one, and it turned into a pick six. Here, he knows better, and he just throws that one away.
Here now is 2nd and 10, again from the 41. Here's Darnold. And the Niners get there and bring him down. So we have reached halftime here in a good one. 10-10 is our score. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. We thought this one would be a close battle coming in, and we have not been disappointed. They're all even to this point. This has the feeling of a game that could go right down to the wire. One mistake or one big play could turn out to be the difference.
Okay, Coach, thanks as always. This one's still anyone's game as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. Forecast calling for more of the same. The rain set to continue as we are underway in the second half. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. The 49er offense set to go to begin quarter number 3. It's a tie football game here. What do you think, Charles, the message was at halftime?
Well, I think that they probably just looked at things and said, we're fortunate that this is a tie game. No need to panic, no need to change a whole lot. We didn't play anything close to our best in the first half, so we don't have to go out and win one for the Gipper. Let's just go out and play our best football and win one for us.
Purdy going to lead the 49ers to the line, 1st and 10, just shy of the 30. They'll motion the tight end across the formation. And he'll start by handing this off to McCaffrey. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, they're hoping that the second half is better for him than the first half. They've got to find a way to get him going. He's a big part of their offense.
Now 2nd and 8 at the 32-yard line. Play action, and now here's Purdy to throw it. And a catch made by his tight end, Luke Farrell. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. A gain there of 30 big ones.
You just had the feeling that sooner or later someone was going to come up with that one play. Neither team has really done a whole lot offensively, but here's one that pays off to the tune of big yardage, and it's one that could maybe get this group in gear.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 39-yard line. Purdy looking to throw. That's complete out left to Ayuk.
And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And they'll be left with a 2nd and about a foot.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you?
They'll bring a receiver in motion right. Out of the gun, Purdy. He's got Ayuk once again.
And he'll be out of bounds just inside the 25-yard line. 2nd catch for him today, and it'll wind up a 1st down.
Didn't they tell us in our meetings that they needed to account for him on each and every play?
You think? A guy of his caliber? So how does a guy like him get that wide open?
That usually means there's a tire breakdown on what the coverage was. That everyone thought they were doing something, and they were supposed to be doing something else. But bottom line is, no matter what, you have to know where he is and cover him on every play.
A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Not quite enough to get into the end zone, but what a nice play there. He makes the catch, tries to turn upfield and get to the pylon, but doesn't quite get there. But they're going to be set up with a 1st and goal from very short range.
Here's Purdy. Again to the big tight end, George Kittle.
Only a yard on the completion. It's 2nd and goal.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
2nd and goal from the 1.
McCaffrey is in. Touchdown, 49ers.
Boy, we talk a lot about Christian McCaffrey and what he can do in the open field, and it's easy to gloss over how tough he can be to stop near the goal line. And he shows you just how tough he is on that carry as he takes it into the end zone.
Extra point try now for Moody.
He's got it as they go up by a total of 17-10. So this drive spans 7 plays. And the last play on the drive, the touchdown run from Christian McCaffrey.
So here's Moody back out there now to send this one away. And he brings us out past the 20 to the 24.
Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the 2nd half.
And this game was all square at halftime, but now they find themselves down 7 following the opening drive touchdown here in the 3rd quarter.
And they need to take a good, relaxing, deep breath, don't you think? Because right now they might start to feel like they've got to play catch-up here and start matching them point for point. But it's still too early to get there. They can still run their offense. Plenty of time to get back in this game.
Here's Walker to start the drive. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
I have to think a major focus of the halftime meetings had to be figuring out how to create space for the running game to get operating.
Well, what you pointed out to me at half seems accurate. That line has struggled to sustain blocks.
Yeah, I would agree with that totally. They've got to focus on staying on their double teams at the first level, make sure that block's secured before they slide off and try and chip someone at the second level.
Sticking with Walker on second down.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
42 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
That was a good, forceful run, and it demonstrates why you've got to put your body on a runner when you're trying to tackle him. If you just go in there and just try and get him down with arm tackles, usually doesn't work very well, and we saw in that play, he'll run right through those attempted plays.
And he'll get it down to the 47 here. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
That's a nice run right there, able to get to the outside, and so many times defenses say, okay, we've got you hemmed in. But if you're running the football, at least you know where everyone is coming from. You don't have to worry about the backside at all. That allows you to run with a little bit more confidence as you traverse down the field.
And going right back to Walker. And he'll work down inside the 45.
This drive is pretty clear. Almost feels like old school fundamentals, doesn't it? Want to impose their will on the defense. What's that, 5 straight runs?
Yeah, 5 straight carries to start this drive, and like you said, the way it's working, they may just stick with it.
And they'll come up 2nd and 7.
And they'll try the air now with Darnold. That'll be caught at Steven Sims. And this will move the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the 49ers 28. First target, first catch, and a first down.
It's taken a while for this offense to get going. A little creaky at the start, but they're oiled up now. A nice throw there, and they're really putting together a good drive.
In motion goes the tight end. Off of play action, Darnold. This is caught. Touchdown, Seahawks. Noah Fant, 28 yards.
And the Seahawks are an extra point away from evening this one up. So a strong drive here to lead off this third quarter. That has them an extra point away from tying things up.
And, partner, this is pretty much what they envisioned when they were sitting there in the locker room thinking about getting things going to start here in the third quarter. Getting out there, a field goal would have been fine, but going ahead and scoring here, an extra point away from tying things up, that's exactly how they drew it up on the board.
Now Myers for the extra point. And in this rain, they were nice and cautious there on the extra point try, and that caution was well warranted as this game is tied. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away.
And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. The 49ers ready to set up shop again offensively.
And these two teams have traded touchdowns so far with their first possessions here in the third quarter, so we're right back to where we started at intermission.
Yeah, how about that? Tied at the half. Tied after the first 2 drives of the third quarter, 1 for each. That tells me that someone's defense has got to step up and make a big play and try and change the momentum of this game.
Now Purdy. Connects with Kittle underneath.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
The drive starting with a first down, 11 yards on that pickup.
And what a nice example there of a tight end doing exactly what he needs to do. How about how he worked his way to the outside, made sure he secured the catch, and then anything after that, we count that as a bonus. And indeed, he gets enough for the first down.
Purdy. He's got this complete to Ayuk on the out route. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 13 yards there and a Niner first.
Well, that's what you're looking for when you want to throw the ball downfield. You want one of those guys who can play out on the perimeter, can play out wide, who can not only get open, but when they're covered, can uncover themselves downfield and create catches.
Purdy now to throw. Got a man. That's Ayuk. Defensively, a solid response after giving up back-to-back first downs.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
Purdy now to throw off the play action. And that one off the mark behind him, incomplete. To give you an idea of how accurate he's been throwing the football, we're in the second half. That's just his second incompletion.
Well, if he's that locked in, that means everyone's locked in, because to me it's like throwing a no-hitter in baseball. The pitcher may get the credit, but a lot of people making plays behind him in the field.
Purdy will look to throw again here. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks 23. The 21 yards there as they convert on third.
A great job there, and that old cliche, taking what the defense gives you, comes right into play. Nothing too out of the ordinary about the throw, just a little dump off over the middle. But what is out of the ordinary is what he did with it after the catch. Not only did he grab the ball, but how about the significant yardage he picked up after he pulled it in.
Throwing here, Purdy. That's caught by Jennings. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go, because he might wander into some tough coverage.
Second down and a little more than a yard here. On the toss, they run wide side with McCaffrey. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Not enough there for a first. No gain, as a matter of fact. And it leaves them at 3rd and 1. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Seattle, Washington. All even as we get ready to start the 4th. This will be play number 8 here on the drive. It's 3rd and a yard. Purdy will set up to throw it here. That is caught. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. Nice work to get 7 out of that, and it's 2nd down.
Well, it certainly appears to me that the defensive guys are starting to look a little bit tired, while he still has some fresh legs. Not the biggest gain we've seen on a scramble, but still some positive yardage on a play that initially looked like a sure win for the defense.
Back to throw, Purdy. That is caught by the tight end, Kittle. Touchdown, 49ers. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And the 49ers answer back with a touchdown of their own to break our tie and take the lead here in the 4th. So, Charles, this game feels like it has been punch, counter punch all throughout, and that touchdown breaks our tie here in the 4th quarter.
You're making me want to get back in the gym and start training again. You talk about those punches and counter punches. I also think this is where you and I start thinking to ourselves, who's going to make the play to change that, right? Who's going to get out of this little cycle that they're in right now and make a play and give their team a firm advantage?
So after the made field goal by Moody, he's back out to kick this one away. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here. The Seahawks offense and Sam Darnold headed back out there. And we'll take you through some of the highlights here. You'll notice he had a hand in a lot of them so far. He's got this offense rolling right now. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And now, after the touchdown a moment ago, they work from behind in a 7-point game in this fourth quarter. Plenty of time on the clock. And he'll manage to break a tackle and get this forward for a couple. It'll be second down.
Well, they always talk about playing great team defense, and that was an excellent example right there. Everyone on assignment, no one in the wrong spot, everyone filling their gaps.
They'll fake the handoff. Now Darnold. And down he goes. The 49ers get there. They push him back 8 yards that time on second down.
Well, partner, I would say just avoid play action, but that's not just been the problem. This defense, they've been getting pressure on all types of pass plays and really piling up the sacks in this contest.
This offense so far on third down, they've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 16. Now Darnold. Pass taken in by his big tight end. And he's taken down right at the 45-yard line. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway.
I'm pretty sure any quarterback will tell you it's nice to have a tight end that can stretch the field. And how about him right there, working in the heart of the defense, and they connect on a very nice play downfield, a combination of talent and toughness to go into the briar patch.
So from inside Niner territory now, this is 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That play wasn't quite as big as the play that preceded it, but still, gotta like the way they're moving the football, partner.
Absolutely. Pretty good room to run on that last play.
Yeah, they didn't get a first down, but still, you'll take runs like that each and every time, won't you?
Now off the bootleg, Darnold sliding out of the pocket. And Darnold going to slide to the ground here, but not before he does pick up the first down. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first.
If they get a game-changing score on this drive, it's going to be because of plays like that. That run was pure heart. Took it himself, found a way to reset the downs, and advance the ball.
He'll get that to Charbonnet. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. The Seahawks moving pretty well through the air. Another first down.
I like the design that we're seeing right there. This is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the 4th. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
The drive continues as they search for a tying touchdown. Here's 1st and 10. A play fake, and it's Darnold. And he's going to be taken down, sacked back around the 18-yard line. Jordan Elliott picks up his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback, he's not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
Under 4 to go now as the clock runs and they come up on second down.
They'll toss this out right to Walker.
And snapped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3.
81 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
Another carry for their leader, and they need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
A looming decision to make on the conversion, down 7, but first things first, they need to score as they come up on first and goal.
No receivers open, so Rue's forced to put that one into Puget Sound. That's a great job defensively blanketing those receivers, and ultimately, a smart idea by him just to get the ball out of there.
They'll go again from the 3 here on second and goal.
Walker will take this into the end zone for a Seahawk touchdown. We are set up for a fantastic finish now. A fourth-quarter touchdown here, and we're an extra point away from a tie football game.
And I know they're thinking about possibly going for 2, but I'd go ahead and kick this one and just get it back to level.
The extra point now coming from Myers. And no sweat. He puts it through, and we are tied here in the 4th. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive.
And it was Kenneth Walker finishing things off with a touchdown run. Now this one setting up for a great finish. All tied in the 4th as the kick's away.
The lane opens here. He's past the 30.
And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. San Francisco set to go on offense once more. Well, they just gave up the score to tie it. That's the bad news. The good news, plenty of time in this 4th quarter to try to grab that lead back. I'll tell you, far from ideal conditions to play in, but neither offense has had much trouble. Plenty of points to go around. 1st and 10.
They start on the ground with McCaffrey. They find some open field here.
And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped.
25 yards the pickup there, and also a first down.
That's the run he's been waiting for, Charles. He's been bottled up all game. That run alone got him more yards than he had in all his previous carries combined.
And don't think for a second he doesn't know that, because every back that I know can almost calculate every yard with every step that they take. He had to be frustrated because of what's happened during the game. Has to feel a lot better after that run.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Up the gut, McCaffrey. And he'll go down at the 28.
2nd and 1, and people want to run the football. This is where every back in the league is supposed to do exactly what we just saw there. Pick up the first down.
All 3 timeouts plus the 2-minute warning. Here's 1st and 10.
Looking to throw. Purdy. And incomplete. A drop there in the middle third of the field. That'll bring up 2nd down.
But he'll definitely say that that's one he should have held on to. But when you're playing in elements like this, sometimes those bullet passes, those ones with a little bit of pace on them, they can be difficult to hold on to.
Another try, 2nd and 10 now.
They run with McCaffrey off the option. And that winds up a decent run, and it also takes us to the 2-minute warning. So it's 49er football here as we get you reset. And they're facing a big 3rd down now in this tie ball game. Third down, here's McCaffrey. And this won't do it. He needed 6. He only got halfway there. And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ball game. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This for the lead in the final stages. And his kick here is good. And they have taken the lead here in the final 2 minutes. Big kick right there to give them the lead in the 4th, but there is still time left for a final drive.
Did they score too soon? Post-game will tell us, right? Depending on what happens on this drive, that's how we'll analyze it. If the other team scores, they scored too soon. If they somehow hold on, they managed the clock exactly right.
So following the touchdown, here's Moody back out to send it away. And a decent return out to the 27-yard line. The Seahawks offense and their quarterback ready to go once more. And this defense might be about ready to wave the white flag. Nothing they have tried to throw at him has been that successful. He just processes things so quickly and makes a right read seemingly every time. They'll come up 1st and 10 here. Darnold to throw. A quick throw there going to be batted away and incomplete. This defense hasn't had the best showing in this game, but a critical knockdown there. If they can hang on, I guess the end will kind of justify the means.
Certainly, and just think of it this way. It may not be the quantity of the plays that they've had because those haven't been great, but they get a few more quality ones like that. That could finish things off for them.
Here's Darnold. He completes this to Walker. And he's able to get this one up to his 30 before he's out of bounds.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
Darnold. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that's caught inside the 30. And all the way in, touchdown Seattle. Jackson Smith and Jigba, 70 yards. And the Seahawks use the defensive breakdown to take the lead away here in the 4th. Might be seeing that one on the highlight shows tonight. The home run ball here in the 4th quarter to take the lead.
There's nothing like being aggressive, preaching that to your team, and then following through. All the way through. Go ahead and throw one more up there. Why not?
Been a great game, and we are not done yet. Still an important piece of business to take care of, the extra point. And that will make this a 4-point game. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was capped off by a Jackson Smith and Jigba touchdown catch. And after the touchdown, here's Myers to boot it away. Now a crease here as he's past the 30.
And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. So Purdy and the Niners down 31-27. Less than 90 seconds to go. They need a touchdown. A field goal is worthless now as they come up on 1st and 10. Purdy to throw. That one complete to his receiver, Jennings. The 49ers now going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. To throw is Purdy. And his throw is going to be incomplete. So he's unable to complete it there, and just not the game that you would expect from him. He's been off the mark really start to finish.
Yeah, it makes you wonder what exactly is going on. Is he a little bit dinged up here, or is it just off just by a bit? Maybe he can get it back in this situation. He'll need to.
Throwing, Purdy. He's got his big tight end, Farrell, complete. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So that's going to double their pleasure for sure. They get the first and save a timeout. They got exactly what they wanted there. Out route, catch, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
And I have to criticize defense here because you know the situation. You want to keep them inbounds and have the clock run. So I'm sitting on the outside portion of the field and not letting them throw an out route. Throw anything inside and I'll make the tackle. An out route? That's not the way you're supposed to play it. Partner, they're clearly saving those timeouts, but they still have to work with some urgency to put themselves in the right position.
They'll come up now on 2nd down. Here's Purdy to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Ayuk. Now San Francisco going to call their 2nd timeout as the clock will stop with 45 seconds left to go in the game. No tougher place to be in a spot like this than Seattle. Here's 3rd down. Purdy to throw. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout. That's what they need right now. Get the first down, get out of bounds, stop the clock.
Just playing smart football, understanding the situation, making the plays necessary, and making sure that clock stops at every opportunity.
Final minute, 1 timeout remaining. 1st and 10. Here's Purdy. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a non-stop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. Picked off by Josh Jobe. And the Seahawks have just about sewn up this football game. Well, you knew you had to take some chances here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it, and that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
The Seahawks take back over. And this one all over but the shouting, you might say. Now, there's 1 timeout remaining defensively, but probably no real need to use it here.
Yeah, the only time they would use it, strictly for pride.
They got to have two hands on the football here as they run on first down.
And now the Niners going to signal for their third and final timeout. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break. Second and 12, and you'd have to assume another all-out effort to stop the run is coming.
He's going to get it again. Just looking to get forward and protect the ball.
And a short gain here across the 10 to the 12.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball.
Well, this was a very close ball game at halftime, Charles, but in the second half, that offense kind of kicked things into another gear, and they were able to pull away for the victory.
And, Brandon, I think they're the type of team that just looked in the mirror and said, hey, ton of pressure on, but we're the type of team that can flat out handle it. They stood up with confidence, and made it happen for a victory.
So that'll do it for my partner, Charles Davis, and the best darn crew in the industry. I'm Brandon Gaudin. This has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. It's a win for the Seahawks here as we say so long from Seattle.